What's up, Hootsforce? Talisman here. I decided because of the launch of Free-to-Play and influx of new players, as well as just wanting to have some of this type of content on the channel and with the club in general. The first video for this new series called Hootsforce How-To is going to be how to have basic car control. So the basics of Rocket League car control. And what I would recommend is, in order to improve your car control more efficiently, is to mix casual and competitive gameplay with dedicated training time. So what that means, what I mean by that is, you jump into 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 matches of whatever game mode you like, and you just play, focusing on a few different things, but basically just playing the game and getting used to it. And then take a break from the online play and jump into training. And now there's different types of training, and they all serve their purposes. But for car control, I think the most efficient way to go about this is to balance between free play and custom training packs. So let's jump into free play, and I'll talk about 10 things, 10 kind of activities or exercises that you guys can do to improve your car control in between matches. And this should only take, doing these exercises only takes 5, 10, 20 minutes if you really want to spend a ton of time on it. But it shouldn't be too long, and you don't want to grind it for too long at a time. You want to be mixing your training in with your actual gameplay. So sometimes that's known as biofeedback, where you're training so that you can accomplish tasks in game, and then you go into the games to try to implement what you train. So to get started, we want to make sure that we have unlimited boost and free play on. Okay. And what I would recommend, the first thing you want to do is just to have fun. Try new things. Drive around for a few minutes in free play. Try to keep the ball close to you. Try to get hard hits on the ball. Go up and down the walls. Things that you haven't tried before, maybe like dribbles or air dribbles, depending on where you're at with these things. Right? Go in and out of ball cam and try different things. And basically, you're just trying to get a feel for the game, get a feel for the car, to start off your free play, to start off your training. Okay? And now, everybody is on a different level, right? Some players find certain things to be easier than other players. And that's just how life is in general. So what I want you to do in these few minutes while you're just having fun is to try things that are hard for you. And then switch to try things that are easy for you, and try to get consistent at those, and then switch back to try things that are hard for you. And you'll find that over time, the hard things will get easier, and you'll be trying to do even harder things. Alright, number 2. Take off ball cam, get away from the ball, and focus on your car. And what I want you to do is jump up and get into the air, and stay in the air for as long as you can. Once you can stay in the air consistently without moving, then I want you to start moving around the field. Don't touch the ceiling, don't touch the wall. Learn how to rotate your car and move around the field. So you're going to use air roll to turn like that, and then the camera will readjust once it's reached you. Okay? Once moving around the field feels comfortable, then implement a constant air roll and try to stay in the air for as long as you can. Okay? If you don't already, the easiest way to maintain control in the air is to rebind your air roll controls. So there are many ways to do this. I have boost on B or circle still, so I actually bind air roll and power slide to the left bumper, and then I have a dedicated air roll right bound to the right bumper. Okay? The big thing here is you want to be able to power slide and boost at the same time, and you want to be able to air roll without having to hold on to Like, you want to be able to air roll and boost at the same time as well. So trying to stay in the air for as long as possible will get you used to recovering in the air. And as you increase the complexity, like we saw, you can keep pushing yourself. All right. So the third one I want you to do is to travel between the walls and land on your wheels. Okay. This may seem very simple to some of you, and it may seem very hard to others. Okay. Once you've started to get the hang of this, you notice how as I'm jumping off, I'm air rolling right away. That'll make the whole trip a little easier because the camera readjusts for you. So once you start getting used to it, I want you to wait and air roll at the end. Okay. This is going to force you to get used to some inverted controls. Okay. So that's the third thing I want you guys to try, and you can increase the complexity of that by going up to touch the ceiling, by implementing a constant air roll, and so on. Okay, the fourth thing I want you to do with Unlimited Boost is similar, but instead of from wall to wall, I want you to practice going from goal to goal. As you drive off the edge of the goal like this, you can stay in the air and keep yourself backwards to practice inverted controls. Okay? Once that feels comfortable just doing it in a simple manner, I would recommend implementing different types of air rolls. Okay? Alright, number 5 is I want you to kind of repeat that exercise of staying in the air as long as you can, but hold down the boost button this time. And you'll notice that as you get close to the ceiling, you're going to have to make some adjustments to conserve your momentum in different ways. Same with the walls. By holding on the boost, your car easily gets out of control, and you need to be able to recover from it using air roll, flips, different ways to recover from it. And so this will help you understand what the consequences of moving in different directions are and how to recover from them. Okay? So these are all useful things. All 5 of these are useful things you can do with boost being set to unlimited. So for number 6 and going forward, we want to uncheck the unlimited boost in Freeplay. So now we have limited boost. It's a more game-like situation. And the first thing is just going to be, again, have fun and try new things. But now you're going to be wary of your boost. You want to be able to control your boost, know where the pads are on the field, learn where they are if you don't know. For example, there's a square of pads around the edge. There's an oval of boost pads in this intersection. And then there's a straight line up the middle. Okay? So get used to traveling, taking routes around the field that cross boost pads, and get used to not using boost if you don't need to. Okay? Just kind of have fun with it. Try new things and have fun. That's number 6. But now we have limited boost. Alright, number 7 is to practice your kickoffs. Now, the basics of a kickoff is to get to the ball as soon as you can and hit it, right? But notice how the ball went straight up. If the opposing team takes this route and jumps, they're going to win the kickoff on me. So the next thing you want to implement is hitting the ball in the middle. Okay? Hit the middle of the ball and hit it square towards the goal as much as you can. Okay? And then the last thing is to get to that point as fast as possible, right? Maybe you boost the whole time and do that. There's other ways to increase the speed of your kickoffs using flips, diagonal flips. And there's even more advanced ways to get speed flip kickoffs. I won't demonstrate that here because I'm not really consistent with it, but I would look up Musty speed flip kickoff, because Musty is a YouTuber that has a good tutorial about it. There's other tutorials about it too online. You can kind of check it out if you want to look up the fastest way to do a kickoff. Okay? But I would recommend just going through and practicing those kickoffs. And then you can just hit reset ball, because kickoffs are in every game mode. And they're super important, especially in like 1v1s and 2v2s. Alright, the 8th thing I want you to work on is what I call ceiling touches. So gather at least 50 boost, maybe start with 100, and see how much boost it takes you to hit the top. We just did that with 50, okay? So we got it with 100 easy, so let's try it with 73. Alright, we got it with 73. We really got it with 59. The point of this is we want to learn how to change forward momentum into vertical momentum. And we want to do it as fast as possible. So I'd recommend playing around with how little boost can you use to touch the ceiling. Okay, start with 80, 90. If that's easy, drop it down to 70. And you should really shoot for being able to do it within 50 boost, okay? If you can hit the ceiling within 50 boost, then you're effectively and efficiently transferring the momentum from forward to vertical using those fast aerials. Okay, and that might be hard at first, but what you want to keep in mind is how the car jumps. If I hold down jump for a long time, it'll jump higher than if I tap it. I can do 2 jumps and then go straight up, and you want to time it such that you don't get any downward momentum before you boost. Okay, so play around with that and try to hit the ceiling with less than 55, 53 boost. The 9th thing I want you guys to work on in between games is dribbling. Okay, the basics of ground dribbling are just to keep your ball close to the car. Sorry, keep your car close to the ball. And then you move away from it slightly as you touch it to give yourself some more space, right? So these are, people call these bounce dribbles or ground dribbles. This is an effective way to move the ball around the field and keep control of it. You think of like soccer players, you don't want to launch the ball so far away from you. And so this is a good thing to practice in free play. Okay. Now, these are super helpful because as you get closer to the goal, you can then launch shots on goal after you do your ground dribble or your bounce dribble. Okay, the other kind of dribble I want you to try working on is called either a ball carry or a classic dribble. So you want to keep the ball on your car, and what that requires is it requires for the ball to be in the middle of the car. So on a Fennec like this, it's basically the top of the windshield. On an Octane, it's like right in front of the engine. And what you want to try to do is, a good way to set these up is just to tap the ball, get on the other side of it, and as it's rolling towards you, let it bounce up and put it on your car. Notice how while the ball is on the middle of the car is inside that white circle. Okay? That's kind of an indicator of whether you're controlling or not, is if the car is inside the white circle. You want to go out of ball cam for these dribbles, and it's going to take a lot of practice, but eventually you'll get used to how to adjust the car. Use boost, use brake, and use gas to adjust the car to keep the ball on you. Okay? This is going to be pretty tough for new players. I know it was for me, but eventually you will be able to get the muscle memory down and the car control down to do this. Alright, the last one, the 10th one I think that you should work on free play is in and of itself, it's not a super useful technique, but it helps with a variety of things. And it's called, well, I call it ceiling to ball. So you drive up to the ceiling, and then you let your car fall off the ceiling towards the ball, and you use your flip at the end to hit the ball. Okay. If your car falls off of a surface, you will maintain indefinitely a flip to use. And so in order to do this, reset the ball to kickoff position, and then pick any wall to go off of, and try to time it such that you reach the ball. So this one I didn't have quite enough boost. So the 3 main things this works on is understanding how your car functions coming off the ceiling, some inverted controls since it's backwards, and then timing on the flip at the end is huge going forward to understand how to get power on the ball using a flip. So those are the 10 basic things I would recommend doing at the beginning of your Rocket League career in between games in free play to better your car control. Now, I specifically also made a custom training pack that's meant to help you with car control. And it's called Basic Car Control. You can download this training pack using the download code here on the screen. If you go to Browse and hit X or square and type in the training pack code, this will also be in the description of the video. Okay? And I'll walk you through what you should do with each shot to get the most out of the training pack. The first few shots are simply about boost control and timing. Okay, the ball's going to come across the field and you need to put a shot on goal. And essentially, I would recommend you redo these over and over again, trying to hit different parts of the goal. Okay? And you're going to miss because you're trying new things. Try to follow up and score. But basically from here, you need to control your boost in such a way that you're hitting the ball at the right time. Okay. Now you can also jump at it to keep it on the ground. And you can try new things. But the first 3 shots in the training pack are like this. So here's shot number 2. It's basically a mirror of the first shot. And then shot number 3 does the similar thing, but at an angle. So you're trying to time your approach so that you can put a solid shot on goal. Now shot number 4 has a specific purpose. This ball is at a certain height such that you can hit it without using any boost, but you need to jump in the most optimal way to do that. So don't use any boost for this shot until you've touched the ball for the first time. Okay? So notice how I barely got a touch on that. And if we try again, if I just double jump, it doesn't work. Or if I double jump quickly, it doesn't work. Or if I keep my car up the whole time, I don't get high enough. Or if I go right underneath it, I don't get high enough. Oh, I do get high enough. So there are ways to get to the ball, but the biggest thing I want you guys to understand is that when you jump in Rocket League, the force is pushed in the direction of the top of the car. So if I'm sitting still and I jump, I'm going to go up because the top of the car is facing up. If I use my second jump when the car is angled, I'm going to kind of go backwards. So watch this. See if I can do it. Oops. See how I went forward and go back, right? So if you want height quickly, you need to keep your car in this direction until the very end and then lift your car up. Okay? And then you can go ahead and shoot your shot. Alright, so don't use boost on that shot or you're cheating. You're not getting what you should be out of this drill. So the next 4 are about speed and timing. So the ball's just going to drop, but if you don't hit it into the goal in time, you've already lost. Okay? So the first few are pretty easy. You just need to time it well so that you don't get behind or in front of the ball. You're going to have to boost a little bit for the second one. Now the third one, you need to hit a speed that's called supersonic. Okay? If I don't boost enough, I'm not going to reach the ball. So what you want is you want to hit supersonic. And what that means is that your car has reached max speed. So notice in this replay how the trail underneath my wheels turns purple. That means I've hit supersonic, I've hit max speed. Okay? Now this one, even if I hit supersonic, I'm not going to score it. I just barely miss. There is one way to reach supersonic faster, and that is to use a flip. Okay? And if I try to front flip, it's not going to do it. Just barely miss. So what you actually need to implement is a diagonal flip, which this used to be called a speed flip, but it's not the fastest flip known anymore. But what you're going to do is you're going to turn your car slightly to one side, and as you're boosting, do a diagonal front flip towards the ball. Okay, like that. And you'll hit supersonic a little bit faster than if you're just driving, and you'll have the speed to reach the ball. Okay. On these last 2, it's this half field dribble, so you don't have to dribble the whole field. Starting at midfield, can you dribble into the goal? Notice how the timer runs out, so if the ball touches the ground, the drill's over. Once you get a feel for the dribbles, I would recommend trying to implement a type of shot at the end. You know, whether that's a flip or a flick, or even just a pop, like take a jump, okay? Increase the complexity of the drill so that you can keep pushing yourself. The next one is similar, but we're coming at it from an angle. Now, these dribbles will feel incredibly difficult as you begin, but as you keep trying, you'll start to get down those slight nuances of how to control it, okay? And the biggest thing for these is to really try to understand how Rocket League and how the physics in Rocket League work so that you can control your car to the most that you can, right? So, like I said at the beginning, I'd recommend jumping into 2 or 3 matches online, real Rocket League play, and then take a 5 or 10 minute break to work on training like this. Then go back into the Rocket League matches, and in that way you can kind of get some feedback as to what you're working on, what you need to work on, and what you should be focusing on. Okay? Alright, Hootsforce. I hope this video helped you out and gave you at least some direction on how to understand the fundamentals of your car control in Rocket League. Be on the lookout for the next video, which will be intermediate car control, where I'll be going over some a little bit more advanced techniques like half flips, wave dashes, and some aerial control. Okay? And take care, everybody, and thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share with your friends if they're starting Rocket League, right? Rocket League's a fun game to play, but it's a hard game to master. So be careful out there. Love you guys. Peace.